understand. I know. Okay, today's fantasy segment is brought to you by the good people at BallparkSweaters.com. If you want to know more about them and order your sweater for the upcoming baseball season for that young, nice wife of yours or girlfriend of yours or dolly of yours, go to BallparkSweater.com. Okay, guys, Bob and Jonathan Ben's in the house, and I know you guys aren't big hockey fans. You still think that there are more fantasy baseball fans out there than hockey fans, correct?
Well, yeah, the recent projections show there's almost 13 million Americans and Canadians that play fantasy baseball. So
really?
I got to think that's more than attend and watch hockey games on TV.
Exactly. You are exactly right.
Here we go. Okay, let the games begin.
Marketing.
Okay, projecting a player value based on BABIP. That's batting average, balls in play. Who wants to jump in on that discussion?
Yeah, for sure. I'll start off on that. You know, when it comes to fantasy baseball and coming into your draft, which is only a couple of weeks away for most fantasy baseball leagues, it's all about ROI, just the same way as it is in a business. You're looking for a return on your investment, and that means that you need to project values of baseball players better than your opponents. One way to do that is with BABIP, batting average per balls in play. Now, what that means is, Pete, that you take the person's batting average, you take away the strikeouts, you take away the home runs because those are balls that end up in the seats, they're not in play, and, of course, walks don't affect batting average anyway. And you come up with a statistic of the amount of successful balls put in play that resulted in hits. Now, in the 21st century, that average has been between 293 and 303. Last year it was 294 for balls that were put in play and resulted in hits. Now, there's, of course, a lot of things that can affect that. You know, the guy who hits a lot of lazy fly balls, he's not going to show up well in batted balls in play. The defense of the opponent, the speed of the hitter, certainly that would help you. But the thing that fantasy baseball managers look at the most is luck, because luck is where those little squibbers can get through the infield more so in one season than the next. And if you think that luck evens itself out over the years, a guy with an extraordinarily high batted average for balls in play last year, maybe that luck will catch up with him this year and he won't do as well. And, of course, on the other side of the coin, the guy who had a poor BABIP last year might be projected to do better in the new season. So when we look at this, one of the guys that we would be concerned about is Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. Now, Matt Kemp last year was just one home run shy of a 40-40 season, but he's not the overwhelming number one pick. And based on stats from last year, you would think he would be. What are the reasons why he hasn't? Well, maybe he hasn't done it as long as guys like Albert Pujols. Maybe he doesn't have the surrounding cast with the Dodgers that Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera are going to have with Detroit. But one of the things that would concern a fantasy baseball manager with Matt Kemp is his batted average per balls in play last year, which was an extraordinarily high 380, second highest in the league only to Adrian Gonzalez. Now, in 2010, he was 295. So not surprisingly, his batting average in the 2 years was 239 in 2010, but yet 324 in 2011. So if you're projecting based on batting average and balls in play, Matt Kemp might be a guy that you're going to see fall in 2012. Now, who's going to project to have a big year in 2012 based on batting average, balls in play? One guy who had really bad luck last year was Evan Longoria of the Rays. His batting average per balls in play was only 239 in 2011 based on a career average of 301. So was this bad luck? Well, if you subscribe to the theory of batting average per balls in play, and you like to look at Evan Longoria, who hit 31 home runs last year, he would be a guy that you project for a breakout year in 2012. But, of course, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, the best thing you can do for batting average of balls in play is to hit a lot of line drives. Last year, ground balls were hit in Major League Baseball 45% of the time. They resulted in a 233 batting average. Fly balls were hit about 36% of the time and resulted in a 152 batting average. And line drives were hit about 18% of the at-bats, resulting in a 707 batting average. So I guess the best thing you can do is spend more time in the cage and hit more line drives.
Hey, guys, quickly, I'm back up to against the clock right here, running out of time here. Before I let you go, though, Bob or John, either one of you, when's the best time to draft a pitcher in fantasy baseball?
Well, if you're going to be drafting, this is one of the big questions that ponders the fantasy baseball drafters ponder as we head into the draft time. And when you look at the players available, the entire universe of players available, if you're going to take one in the first round, if you're going to draft Justin Verlander or Roy Halladay or some high-ranked pitcher of that caliber, the earliest that you're probably safe drafting that player is pick number 7. Now, when the real question comes after you take that player, after you take Verlander, after you take Halladay, where do you draft the pitcher after that? And the earliest that we're recommending people take pitchers in the 2012 fantasy baseball drafts, the earliest would be the middle of round 3. If you're not going to get Halladay or Verlander, you can probably still get an ace-caliber pitcher, your Clayton Kershaws, your CC Sabathias, Tim Lincecums. Those guys are going right now middle of round 3 and afterwards. So that would be the earliest that we'd recommend reaching to grab an ace pitcher. After that, after round 4, feel free to go ahead and start drafting pitchers. So, build up. I think really the strategy there, the takeaway there, is to make sure that you get a good outfielder, get a good first baseman, and then get somebody at one of the weak positions at a second base or a shortstop. Make sure that you lock up a great player at second base or shortstop, and then lock up your sluggers, and then start worrying about your pitchers in your 2012 fantasy draft.
Okay, great job, guys. Of course, today's fantasy segment brought to you by BallparkSweaters.com. We'll be right back. You're listening to Spadora on Sports. Check out my website at SpadoraOnSports.com.